Today, we're going to solve systems using a matrix, and the matrix is in the calculator. And so you will definitely have time to play with manipulatives and things. But right now, I really need you to take notes. If you don't have a pencil, I can let you have a pencil. If you didn't already get a calculator, please go get a calculator. Everybody will need one. So today we are going to solve systems, and they're a little different because instead of having 2 equations, now we're going to have 3. It's still just a system of equations. So far, we've learned to use systems using 3 different methods. We just took a test on this. Somebody tell me some methods. Elimination is one of them. Yep. Yep. Very good. Today, we're going to learn a method, and it's called a matrix. And our graphing calculators are going to help us out. In fact, your graphing calculator is going to do all the hard work. It will be lovely. Are we taking notes?
Yeah. I need a pencil. That's totally not that.
So there are some steps when we use a matrix. So first, the equations must be in standard form. That means that the variables have to line up in columns. Does everybody see that there's an X column, a Y column, a Z column, and then a stuff after the equals sign column? Does everybody see that there's columns? Everything's lined up. Okay. Your equations have to be like that. If one of the X's is on the other side, you got to fix it first. Okay, the equations have to line up like that. It's kind of like when we did elimination, where we had the columns and it had to line up. Same thing. Once you're set up in this form, then you can write a coefficient matrix. So a coefficient matrix, the coefficient is the number in front of the variable. So the numbers in front would be A, E, and J. So I just write down A, E, and J, no more X. And then for my Y column, I have B and F and K, and that's all I write down. Does everybody see what we do there? All you do is you take this matrix, and then you write it down with just the numbers. That's it. The next thing that we're going to do is a whole list of commands. So I'm not going to go through all the commands until we actually type stuff in, because it's just like a bunch of math, like coding stuff. But I think you will like it. And in the end, so this is the code that we're going to type in to get our answer. In the end, you're going to have the X equals, the Y equals, and the Z equals. So these will be values. It should be a 1, 1, and a 1. But it's telling you that that's what X equals, that's what Y equals, and that's what Z equals. So it'll line up like that, that whatever is the first equation, that's going to be the X equals. The second equation, that's going to tell you your Y, and then you're going to have your Z. So you can also write your equation like this, or sorry, your solution like that. So write that down. Those mean the same thing. Once our calculator gives us an answer, we can rewrite it like this. Before we get started using our calculator, we're going to clear it out, because who knows what kind of crazy things that somebody before you has put in there. So to clear it, you're going to press the following commands. It is, I'll just write it up at the top. Second plus 7, 1, 2. You press the second button, plus 7, 1, 2. And then it should say like clear. Okay, if y'all don't do this with me, you're gonna have no idea what to do. So please put those aside. I don't mind if you use them, but right now I'm trying to teach you something. So second plus 7, 1, 2. And that will clear your calculator. If your calculator isn't working because it's not turning on, you need to come tell me. That's why I said don't walk away. Because if it's got no battery, then I want to help you. So has everybody got a clear calculator? Okay. You have to ask if you don't know what's going on, because I can't put it up on the screen. It's not working. So let's do an example. For this problem, I have a system of equations. That means I have more than one equation. Are they in standard form where they are already lined up in columns? Yeah. So now we're going to do this next step, which seems like, why am I doing this? I already have it. Do it anyways, because it counts as showing your work. So I'm going to force you to do it anyways. If you don't, then you get points taken off because you didn't show work. Does it need batteries? So grab a pack of batteries, open it, and grab out 4. So what we're going to do, and here's one way that I kind of help it like keep straight for me, that I put a little line towards the end. And then that kind of shows the equal sign for me. And so then I'm going to write the things after the equal sign. And then I'm going to go column by column. So the other ones you can throw away. Yeah. So the first column, I have a 2, a 4, and a -3. The next column, I have a -3, a 2, and a -1. Remember, if there's no number there, it's a 1. So the next column, I have a 1, -5, and a -4. Everybody see what we're doing? So we're just writing down the numbers. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to type those into our calculator. We're going to type that into our calculator. And so we're going to follow the commands that it says. We're going to follow the commands that it says. Oh, you're not going to follow along. You're going to have no clue how to do this. Most of you guys are really awesome. You can play a video game and it's got commands and you press this key and it does this and you press this key and it does that. Well, the first time through, you have no clue what you're doing and you're kind of having to figure it out. But you figure it out and you memorize it. Now, could you probably like, hey, here, mom, play for me? Probably not, because your mom has no clue what she's doing. You would have to teach her how to do it and then she could do it. Well, this calculator, you can do it because I know y'all can play games and you can do stuff, but you're not going to know how to do it unless you learn. So right now, you have to learn how to do it. So we've got this list of directions. In the very first direction, so I'm going to have to go backwards, says that you're going to press second. The second button is the blue one, second. And then down that left column, you're going to find the word matrix. You're going to press that button next, second, and then matrix. And we're following these commands, second, and then matrix. And then you arrow over to the right and arrow over to the right again until you see the edit button. And then you press enter. So you have to do second matrix. You're going to find that edit button and it's along the top. So, but you have to arrow over twice to get there. And then you press enter. Your matrix. So up at the top, you should see a screen and it says something like numbers, this and then an X and then this number. So you're making a 4x3 matrix because you've got, oh, I've got it backwards. I wrote the numbers backwards. You've got a 4x3 matrix because you've got 4 rows and 3 columns. I have that backwards. Those words should be switched to help it make sense, but whatever, we're moving on. So you're going to type in the numbers 4 and then 3, and then you press enter. Huh? Is it the opposite?
Yeah.
Maybe I fixed it on the wrong part. So maybe I fixed it on the second part, 3 rows, 4 columns. So like that. Okay. I always mix them up, but guess what? When I type them in, I can figure out real quick, oh, it needs to be the other way because it doesn't line up. So it's really easy. If you don't remember which one goes first, I hardly ever remember. It doesn't matter. You can type it in whatever way you think it is. And if it's wrong, then switch the numbers. Pretty easy. So now what should pop up is that you've got little blanks down there, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to start typing in your matrix. So you're typing this in, and to advance to the next number, you have to press enter. So you'll press 2, enter, -3, enter, 1, enter. Sure, for enter. I do. Sure, no problem. Fine. Elijah, you are leaving. So you got to type it in, and then when you get to the last number, wait. So type it in. No, just go across the hall. I'm putting these directions up here so I can go through them with you. So you're just typing it in. You got to get all those numbers typed in. The last one should be an 11. Did you type it all in? So as soon as we get it all typed in, the next command says that we need to get out of this screen. So to get out of this screen, so it says enter all the values. Once you enter all the values, and you have to do 2, enter, -3, enter, 1, enter, -13, enter, 4, 2, -5, and you keep going all the way until that your last number is an 11. And you got it all typed in. Anybody need to fix it and type those in? We have all these numbers in there. To get out of this screen so that we can actually do math with it, we have to press second and then the quit. So they're right next to each other. It's second and then mode. Second and then mode will quit, and you should have a blank screen. Second and then mode should give you a blank screen. So right now we're doing second and then mode or quit to get out of that matrix screen. Second and then quit. Now we're going to do the math commands to get our answer. So we're going to press second and then matrix, but this time instead of arrowing over twice to get to edit, we're only going to arrow over one time, and we want to highlight math. And then we press enter. And when it goes to the math screen, we have to arrow down. We have to arrow down all the way until you get to RREF. So there's an REF, not that one. It's RREF. You go all the way down to RREF. Anybody not find RREF? You arrow down to that option. You have to press. Scroll down until you find RREF. And then it pops up. It pops up on your screen. And it looks just like that. RREF. And then it has an open parenthesis. So when you type that in on your screen, you'll see RREF and then open parentheses, right? Is that what y'all see on your screen? Yeah. Okay, so what we want to do, RREF, is row reduced echelon form. You don't have to know that, but I'm telling you what the RREF stands for. But we have to tell it what you want it to do that for. So we have to tell it, oh, well, I want you to find me the answer for this matrix. So to do that, we have to press second and then matrix again. And it should have A. It should be right on the A. Then we're going to press enter because we want it to be the row reduced echelon form. And then what should pop up is A. And when you have A there, then we're going to press enter again. And something magical happens. You get your answer.
NERR.
You should get a lot of zeros. But the very last column is the one that has its answer. So probably it's one little thing. I'll help you look through to check your vision. So at this point, you should get 3 numbers. You should get 3 numbers. What did you get that X is equal to? -3. What did you get Y is equal to? -2. What did you get Z? Oh, not -2. Just 2. Just 2. And then what's the last value for Z? -1. Another way to write this, and you can put it out to the side, would be -3 to -1. Let me pause this. Does it say pause recording? So if you struggled with this one, write down the answer and then come back and you can continue doing it. But I want us to do another example. So it says that sometimes you have to make a small adjustment to the equation so that they're in standard form. Standard form just means that you have those columns and they're all matched up. Does this one have everything that's in the right columns? No, so we're gonna check them. So it should be A and then B and then C and then equals. Okay, so the top one, it looks fine. Nothing wrong with that top one. It's good. So the next one, we've got A and then B. C is on the other side of the equal sign. That's not okay. So we're going to have to bring that over. We're going to have to subtract 5C. So I'm going to rewrite this equation. So it would be A minus 4B minus 5C equals -35. So that one's good. The last one, we don't have an A term at all. If we don't have A, then how many A's do we have? 0. So we could add that. 0A. So now we could go through and we can write down our matrix in standard form. So my first one didn't change. It was 3A minus B plus 2C equals 11. The second one, I had to fix it. So that's a 1A. So I fixed that second one. And then the third one, I just needed to have a placeholder for the A. 0A. Now, am I in standard form where everything lines up? So I can rewrite just the numbers. Just the numbers. And so again, I'm going to help myself so that I remember that, okay, everything after that line is going to be the stuff after the equal sign. And then I'm going to start writing the things down in columns. So my first column would be 3, 1, and 0. So we should write down the coefficient matrix. So it's just the matrix with no variable. You want to have these notes so that you can make your next notebook check. 0 for A. Yes. No. In fact, I've got a neat trick for you guys for this second one. You're gonna love it. You're gonna really love it. It's gonna be really good. You leave it. So if you go type this into your matrix, just type it in and then stop. As soon as you type it in, stop. So we'll type all that in. And then when you clear out of your screen and you see the work from last time, does everybody see the work from last time when you do second quit? It should pop up on your screen. If you see the answer from last time, oh, did you do it again? You're good. You don't have to do all the commands again, is my point. So if you didn't clear out your screen, then there's a really neat trick that you can do. If you see the answer from last time, you can press second and then enter. It pulls up the command for you and then press enter again. Done. Did you type everything in? Okay, so now you're gonna type in the new one. You're gonna type in all the new numbers. So did you type everything in?
Ms. Parmesan get on that bathroom list too?
Yes. What you guys can do is you can start writing your names down on the back wall. I know that everybody always needs to go, so if y'all start getting your names down, then we'll at least be in order, because I know that sometimes y'all jump out of order. Okay, I will help you. Okay, so from there, you can do second and then quit to get out of that screen. That's the second button. We gotta fix that. That last number wasn't really good, right? Right, from there, now press enter. And now do second, quit. Do second, enter. Enter. You must type something in wrong. We'll check. I will help you check and figure that out. You got a bunch of decimal? Okay. Let me get my papers that I can help y'all. So if y'all got a bunch of decimals, I will come around and I will help you. Those of you that didn't get decimals. Oh, well, I guess you can't move on because the next one is a word problem. So y'all just hold on. So for this one, what was A? Uh-huh. So you can write your answer like that or like that. So make sure that you write it both ways so that you know. And we just have one last example. Nobody likes this example because it's a bunch of words. However, you can do this. Oh. Did I put define a variable on your paper? Yeah. Okay, that's the one I like better. Okay, let me copy it. Okay, this one should look like yours now. It says, at a local T-ball game, Bob purchases 3 hot dogs, 2 sodas, 2 bags of chips for $14. Sherry bought 2 hot dogs, 3 sodas, and 5 bags of chips for $17.25. Travis purchased 4 hot dogs, 2 sodas, and 1 bag of chips for $15.25. Find the price of a hot dog, a soda, and a bag of chips. First thing that we're going to have to do is define our variables. And so we've got hot dogs. What letter do you want to make for hot dogs? H, that sounds good to me. What about sodas? Sure. What about chips? Sounds good. So it's pretty easy when it's like this, but sometimes you have 3 things and they all start with a B. And so you got to get creative. So for these, we've got hot dogs, sodas, and chips. And so that's going to help us that when we read each line, we know how to write it. So the first sentence says, Bob purchased 3 hot dogs. So we're going to call that 3H. And so plus 2 sodas, and 2 bags of chips. So 2 chips, and it costs $14. Do y'all see what I did there? Pretty easy. So I want you to try to read the next 2 sentences and see if you can write down what they would look like. I'm going to do it up on the board. You try and do it on your paper. We're going to look up and we're going to see if we get the same thing. Did y'all get the same things? What if Sherry didn't buy any hot dogs? What would you put there? 0. Okay, sometimes that happens. And so now we're going to take that and we're going to write the coefficient matrix. That means we're going to write it again. No variables. We're going to write it again with no variables. And I'm going to remind myself that where the line is after that is where the equal sign is. And then I'm going to write everything else down. So this stuff's not optional. You have to write it down. I know it seems redundant, but since you're not actually doing any math by hand, you have to show me these steps. Yep. So now we're going to go to our matrix. If something's already there, it doesn't matter. We're going to type over it. We're going to type over it. I'm going to tell you that you're going to get decimals for this. You'll get decimals for this. So you're going to type it back in. You're going to type everything in. And then if you do second and then quit, if you just do second enter again, it should already pop up the command. You don't have to do the command again. If you're doing a bunch of problems and they're all matrix problems, you don't have to keep typing in advance. It should be a 3 and a 4. And once you scribble that out and change it to a 3 and 4, and you don't have to do it again. Y'all got the same thing to me? You're right. Because we're not gonna have negative money. So go back to your matrix and let's just double check that everything's technically okay. Sometimes it's one little negative. Okay, so we should have 3, negative 1, 2, 11, 1, 4. So make sure you're writing that part down. Oh, yeah, it's probably that one number that you gotta choose. Yes. Yep. Good job. Good job. So one person from every table has gotten it correct. So when we write this is money. This is money. So on your quiz, if you don't want to get mad, just like some of y'all got mad because I took off points if you didn't put arrows on your line, if you don't want to get mad at me because I take off points, if you're talking about money, you need to put money. So this is hot dogs. Hot dogs is $, and it's how much? It's not just 2.5, it's 250 because that's how we write money. And then how much are sodas? 2. What about chips? Very good.